Just tell me your name, please, first of all.
Emily Topless. I did English Lit and History at Manchester.
Yeah, I'm Jack Wilson. Go to Texas A&M University.
My name's Jess Wagstaff. I'm here as a volunteer after I was a student at Cardiff for the past 2 years that we've been digging up at Arthurstone.
I'm Matty Hudson. This is my second year of digging on Arthurstone. I came last year as well.
My name's Daniel Ismail.
The digging's great, and like having Arthurstone and Snod Hill, you get like two very different types of archaeology. And I did medieval English Lit and History at uni, so digging a medieval castle is just the best. Up at Snod Hill Castle, I have been mainly in the chapel trench. Last year I dug the other end of the chapel and they stuck me in this corner with a load of walls, and every time I put my trowel in I found a different wall. And that was at one end of the chapel, and they thought it was going to be quite small just past the end of that trench. And then this year when I came, it was like it's expanded by loads, and the chapel is actually really big.
Well, I've worked in like the chapel trench at Snod Hill, so that's pretty cool. You discover like a door jamb, like, oh, here's the entrance to the chapel. Like, we didn't know where that was before. And at Arthurstone, I was working on the quarry trench some.
Especially with digging the quarry pit, you have to get into the mindset of the person who was originally digging that quarry pit and thinking about what they were doing. I mean, we're heaving stones out of there, and it's hard for us, and they were digging way more than like an 18-metre trench, and you like get into the mindset of, right, if I was a Neolithic person and I wanted this stone, where would I dig it? Where would I put it? How would I use it? And it's just a whole other different thought process that you get to sort of slow down and think as if you're someone from the past, which is very cool. And it's the same with the monument. I've never been able to dig on the monument, but it's thinking about the processes of the different phases of occupation and usage of it that's very interesting. Yeah, the human element of it is probably the best bit.
So I started work on one bit of wall on the mound just by the actual sort of dolmen stones. And that was really interesting because it showed a different phasing of the monument that they hadn't been sure of last year. So it's sort of larger stones that they'd used, and quite a mix as well, because they had some potential river or glacial rolled stones. They had some conglomerate like pudding stone, which looks really amazing, and they've chosen to build that all into one wall. And then I've been doing a Bronze Age kist burial as well, which has been the most amazing thing.
So our trench is basically designed to investigate where the mound on the central monument kind of ends. So it's kind of theorised that if we made a big enough trench kind of fairly close to the mound, you could kind of see the end of the mound, because the mound that the actual Arthurstone monument is located on is artificially constructed. And we kind of investigated it a lot last year. We were kind of hoping we'd be able to find like the mound edge and kind of understand a bit more about how large the mound actually is. I think the main things we kind of found in our trench was we found a test pit from a previous excavation, I think from kind of the mid-2000s. And in the backfill from that excavation, we found a flint scraper. So someone else had dug up a flint scraper and not realised it.
I mean, spending 4 weeks in a campsite working every day, like, you get to know everybody pretty quick, I think. And so it's a nice community. Everybody's very nice.
Well, just for like coming here, it's like why you'd come here. It's just really beautiful. Like, it's just lovely. And even when it's really, really rainy, it's like a very dramatic. But there's just so much archaeology.
It was coming here and seeing people from my own course who I'd never met, and then also meeting people from Manchester Uni who I'd never met, and I'd never even been to Manchester. But now I've made such good friends with all of those people. So it's about getting to know other people and learning to work with other people in different ways.
This particular bit of fieldwork is known for being so social and so friendly and so wonderful, and it's just really nice being able to do proper archaeology whilst being with your friends, and there's sort of no divide between the staff and the workers, and especially with Nick, we've had a really lovely time.
I think as you're digging, you can kind of see the Black Mountains in the distance, and it's very clear that it's a very deliberately chosen spot. It's kind of you can see are a lot of different geological features intersecting where the burial chamber is, and with the field as well, it's just stunning views all around, and you can really tell that they wanted the monument to be somewhere accessible by lots of different areas. And especially with if our theories about the post holes being a line of timber avenues that we just excavated last year being correct, potentially would have been able to see for quite a distance these massive timber logs in a row, from miles away. So it's quite an interesting point in the landscape to build a monument.
I mean, I think it's really cool that we get the opportunity to like come over for another country. Like, we get to dig up their history, which is kind of a privilege.
So it's amazing that you get to be a part of that history where you're discovering something year by year and finding out more about it. And not just about this monument in particular, but about the whole of the Neolithic.
It's been really great. It's kind of nice because some universities with archaeology do like have training sites, whereas this is like an actual live excavation. So you're learning skills and you're training, but you're actually doing it for real. And it's not like artificial. They're not like putting things in the ground for you to find. Like, you're finding it, and the supervisors and the staff are being as surprised as you are with certain things. And it can be slow, but it's such a rewarding process. And you really feel a strong sense of camaraderie as well when your peers tell you about what they found in other trenches. It's really cool to see it all come to life and come together.
It's so rare that you get to dig on a monument. It's like, I mean, smaller scale, but it's like being able to discover everything about Stonehenge. It's that, like, monumental for this part of the world, and it's just unlike anything else that you would ever get to do.